Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's a family house based on an actual home that I saw while driving through southwestern France. Now I'm not exactly sure what town I took this picture in. It was like a very small, more like a village or a very small community. It had a lot of farms and a small downtown area, and I just saw this house as we were driving past, and I made my husband turn around because he was the one driving, and yeah, I had him turn around so I could take a picture of this home. And it's one of the only houses I took a picture of. I think I may have 2 or 3 more, because like I said in a couple of videos ago, I felt a little bit awkward stopping in front of people's houses and taking pictures of their homes. I didn't want anybody to feel like I was like invading their privacy in any way. I don't know. But either way, I got a picture of this house and it's so pretty. I will put a picture of it here on screen. I tried my best to make it look as accurate as I possibly could, but of course with The Sims, dimensions don't necessarily translate that well because of the grid system, so sometimes things are a little bit bigger or smaller in real life than they are in the game, or you know, it just doesn't always work out. But I think I did a pretty good job, and I really like this house. Now, of course, I didn't see the interior of this person's home, and I did not see the backyard. I believe there were fences surrounding it and lots of trees and greenery. But I mean, I only like took a quick picture of the front of the house, so I don't really remember. But what I decided to do was I just basically tried to mimic the back of the front of the house to the back of the house to try to make it look like the house made sense, or at least what I imagined maybe the back of the house would look like. And then for the interior, now I didn't go see anybody in France because I don't know anybody that lives there, so I didn't get a chance to go into any actual homes while I was there. So I did have to rely on Pinterest for the interior of this home, and I found a picture of a kitchen that I thought was really cute, and I modeled the kitchen inside of this build off of this one. Now I don't know if it's accurate to a French kitchen, but Pinterest said it was a French kitchen, so I decided to go with it. And it's probably the prettiest kitchen I've ever made. It's very small, it's not that big, but I think it's really beautiful and I absolutely love it. So the rest of the interior was basically designed off of that and also influenced by the front of the house. But here you will see on the front that I'm putting all these little potted plants around, and I'm merging like the actual landscaping plants in with these little pots here because I just thought that would look a little bit nicer, make the plants look a little bit fuller and bushier, and plus when the seasons change, then the plants will change too, because I know it's probably not that big of a deal, but that like the household plants that we have in game, it always kind of bothers me when I use them outside that they don't change with the seasons, because they'll still have their bright green colors or their flowers when it's fall or the dead of winter and everything else surrounding them is completely dead or brown or changing or something like that. So I don't know. But this actually ended up being a good solution, so I think it looks really pretty. I ended up taking the screenshots in fall because I'm totally obsessed right now. And actually, when I'm sharing this, I think it'll be a few days into October. I'm recording this voiceover in September, but it's like September 30th. So, you know, I think it'll be up in a few days, maybe the 3rd, I don't know. But either way, it'll be a few days into October. So I feel like once it's October, it's like officially fall. September, I start to get into like the mood for it, but it's like officially in my mind, once it's October, like you can start going all out with it. So I'm really excited to do some like Halloween type builds. I think it's not technically fall until the 20th or 21st. I should look that up because I was wondering that the other day and I haven't taken the time to look it up, but I think that's technically when the season changes. I don't know. But either way, the point of the story is I took the pictures during fall in the game and it's so pretty. I love the colors. And then yeah, basically on the exterior of the build, I do have an outdoor dining area. I get a barbecue, and then there is some planter boxes so your Sims can do some gardening. This is a pretty big lot, so really there was a lot of room to do a lot of different things, but I felt like since the exterior looked really, at least from what I saw in real life, it looked very simple and classy. I didn't want to clutter it up with like too many things or too many activities because I thought that would kind of take away from the build. So what I decided to do was just have that planter box area, the outdoor dining table, then I do a swing set, and then I also do a pond. And now I don't think the real house maybe had a pond. I mean, maybe it did. I don't really know. But I did visit Monet's house when I was in France. Now that's completely on the other side of France. It's more like, it's up by Paris. I forget the town that it's in, but it's closer to Paris, maybe like an hour away, something like that. But I was really inspired by Monet's gardens because of course he has all these ponds with the lily pads that inspired a lot of his like most famous paintings. And so I decided to add a pond on this build too, which I thought was really fun, and it's not something I like do in a lot of builds. And yeah, I think that actually turned out really nice. And then other than that, I just have these like gravel pathways. In the back, I was trying to add like an elevated porch area, but I didn't think it looked very good, so I got rid of all that and just decided to do the gravel. I do leave the porch area on the front because I think that looks the most like the original house that I was looking at, so I felt like that made the most sense. And then with the landscaping, I try to use a lot of greenery and a few flowers. I try to not go overboard or take away from the house because like I said, the house looked so like classy and it was really detailed but simple at the same time, and I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the vibe that I got from the house. I mean, as soon as I drove past it, I thought it was like so striking but so simple at the same time. I think simple because it's like very white and black, but then it has all these plants, and it also had all these really beautiful shutters, and I wish that we had like shutters that were separated from the windows, because we do have some windows that have shutters on them, but we didn't have any windows that looked like the doors that had the shutters on them from the original house. And so I decided just to do the doors because they looked so similar to the ones from the house. But it would be nice if we had separated shutters that we could just snap to windows. I've definitely seen CC like this. I'm not sure who they're by. I think maybe Peacemaker has some, but if we had some from EA, that would be really, really nice. I'm thinking about doing another CC build here soon because it's been a while since I've done one. If you guys have any creators that you would like to see me, I don't know if I'll do an entire build or maybe just decorate it in like an apartment. So if you know any CC creators that has a lot of interior stuff, I think that would be fun because every once in a while it's kind of fun just to see what people are doing with custom content. I think the last one that I did was, oh, I forget exactly what it's called, but it was that stuff pack that was based on Harry Potter from that post. Well, it's from the poster that we have from base game that looks like a Harry Potter like character. I forget exactly what that's called. I'll link the video and I'll link the download because that pack is amazing. And if you've recently bought Realm of Magic, I think they would go together so nicely. And I think it would add a lot of like cutesiness. And I don't, that stuff pack, that CC stuff pack is really, really good. It's very detailed. There's lots of really unique things about that pack, like how you can add like postcards to the back of a computer desk, and then also to like these string of lights. And what else is there? Oh, there's also these books that change shape and then they can like, you can stack them different ways. It's really cool. Definitely, I would recommend checking that out. Maybe I could do a Realm of Magic build using that one, because I think it adds a lot of those like cutesy kid decorations that didn't come in Realm of Magic. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm talking about that right now, because right now I'm working on this build. And yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy it, because I have gotten a lot of requests to do a build inspired by my trip. I will probably do another one, maybe two. I do have one more build to do in Oasis Springs that's in that more Mediterranean style neighborhood. So I think I'll definitely use a lot of pictures that I've taken in Spain and try to influence it into that build, or try to take some inspiration from my pictures and put it into that build. But I don't think I have anything specifically that I would rebuild. I tried to take a picture of this hotel. I should have took a picture of it when we were close to it, but then we were going around this big lake and we went around like the highway and we got on the opposite side of it, and I tried to take a picture of it and I zoomed in like really far to take a picture of it. So the picture I do have is very blurry and like pixelated, so it's not the best picture, but I mean I can still kind of see the shape of it. So I think part of it will be based off of that hotel because I thought it was really pretty, and as soon as I saw it I immediately thought of the build that I had to do in Oasis Springs. But I have tons of pictures from Spain, and I think I'll probably try to bring, a little bit of those pictures into that build. And I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to build that build because once I do that, then I just have the community lot area in Oasis Springs to finish. And I feel like recently, Even though I've only done a couple builds recently for my save file, I feel like I'm making so much progress. But anyways, I finished the exterior and now we're moving on to the interior. So in this house, there are 3 bedrooms. The parents' bedroom ends up being downstairs, and then the kids' rooms are upstairs. There's 2 kids' rooms, but I decided to decorate them for 3 children. Well, a teenager and then 2 children Sims. Often in my builds, I call teenagers children, so hopefully that's not confusing, but I mean, I'm 30 years old, so to me, a teenager is a child. I don't know. That's why I do it anyways, in case you've ever wondered, because sometimes I've thought about that after I've said it, because there are different life stages in game. There's children and then there's teens, but whatever. Anyways, that's besides the points. That there is a teenager's room, and then there is a twins kids room, or just kids that share a room. I didn't really decide either way. It doesn't really matter. And then the parents' room is downstairs, and then there's, of course, there's a dining room, kitchen, living, all that stuff, and then there's also a garage. But here you can see I am starting with the kitchen. It took me a little while to get it figured out with the layout and exactly how I wanted it to look, but I absolutely love this kitchen. I was trying to use this new tile that came with the update, but I do switch it out for one of the tiles, or for the tile that came with the Realm of Magic pack, just because I felt like this one was a bit too busy and I wanted something more simple. I don't know. This tile is beautiful though, and I'm going to use it. I just haven't found the right opportunity to use it yet, but I'm sure I'm going to use it a lot because it's very pretty, and I love how it comes up pretty high on the walls, so you can see it behind the counters. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And then in here, I'm also using the counters that came from Vampire Stuff, because the picture that I saw on Pinterest of a French interior had black and white counters, and I thought they were really pretty. I think the countertops may have not been black. They may have been like a marbly. I can't exactly remember. I may have saved the picture. I don't have it up on my screen right now, so I can't look at it, but I think the countertops may have been different. But what really first drew my attention to this picture was it had this really nice shelf area with these lights hanging above it. So you'll see me add something along the wall on the other side of this little breakfast table, and I tried to mimic it as best as I could. I think it actually looks really pretty, and I know some of you guys may think this kitchen's kind of simple, but I think it's one of the best kitchens I've ever done, and I think that's because it looks different to how I normally decorate kitchens. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. In my eyes, it does. So hopefully you guys see that. I also really liked adding those pots above the stove, because in that picture, they had some very brassy pans. And so I don't know if that's necessarily a French thing. We did go into some chateaus and different castles, and some of them had the kitchens set up so you could look and kind of see how they would have been. And they did have a lot of brass pots and pans, which I really liked. And that picture showed them. So liked adding them here, but I'm not sure if that's a practical thing or not a practical thing, but an everyday thing that most people in France have brass colored pans. I don't know. But in here, I do have a coffee pot, and then, yeah, all of the stuff that you need for a kitchen to function, like a sink and a refrigerator and a stove. And I did play test it. I was having a little bit of trouble with this sink area, and I'm not sure what the problem was, because I had my playtester sim cook themselves a meal, they sat at the table and they ate it, but then when it came to washing their plate, for whatever reason, they couldn't wash it, but they could use the sink otherwise to wash their hands and get a drink. And I rearranged things and moved things out of the way, and it still seemed to be a problem. So I don't know if it had something to do with them grabbing the plate off the table, because they were able to sit and eat there. I don't know what the issue is, so hopefully you guys don't have any problems using the build. I mean, it's an easy fix because I was able just to drag the plate from the table into the sink and it washed it, but she couldn't just pick it up herself. So I don't know what the problem was, but here you can see I'm decorating this little hallway area. I have a couple of bookcases in here, a few random decorations. It's not that exciting, but I think it looks nice. And then here is going to be the downstairs bathroom. So this is the only bathroom downstairs, and it's also going to be the parents' bathroom, because I did want to give them an ensuite, but then I didn't think it was really that necessary, because I mean, their bedroom is so close to the bathroom anyways. And I have heard throughout some of my videos that ensuite bathrooms aren't as common throughout Europe. I don't know about France necessarily, but yeah, I have heard from different comments that I've gotten from you guys that ensuite bathrooms aren't as common. They're pretty common here in the US. I think most places I've lived have had an ensuite bathroom. Even if they haven't been that big of a place, they're pretty common for the master bedrooms. But I was thinking that this house was remodeled, like it used to be an older home. And so I don't imagine that the master bedroom has always been on the downstairs. I think they probably added it later on when they, like, I don't know, made some updates and upgrades. Because I really tried to make this house have some like older parts to it, like older doors and windows and like an older style, obviously, because I think it looks like it's an older cottage, but it's been updated. So I tried to bring in some modern pieces and old pieces, and I think it actually all comes together pretty nicely. But here you'll see I am decorating the master bedroom. The room isn't huge, so I wasn't able to fit like a lot of things in here, but they do have this little area leading to the back of the house, and I thought that was really nice. I decided to put a vanity table in there and then like a dressing area. You could make that like an office nook. I think that would be pretty cute, but I don't know. I felt like I would do something different and do a vanity area, because my first initial thought was to do like an office with a chess table and more of like a skill building area, which maybe makes the area more useful. So you could definitely do that if you prefer, but I don't know. I thought the vanity area would be pretty nice. And then I used one of the closets that we got from Get Famous that show all the shoes. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then I also used some of the clothing racks that we have from Base Game, and I think it looks really good this way anyways. And yeah, I had a few decorations around. It's nothing too crazy. I think their bedroom is very simple. Something I do really like are these lights that I hang next to the vanity table. I don't use wall lights that often, especially on interiors. I do a little bit on exteriors by like front and back doors or side doors or something, but I should probably use them on interiors more often because I really liked using them in this build. But here you'll be able to see I am moving on into the dining room. So it's probably not totally necessary to have a formal dining room because there's already the breakfast table, but I had room for it, so I decided that it would be nice to include one, and I think it ends up being a really nice room. I have this hutch over here where I add a bunch of decorations. I put a chair in the corner, and I forget exactly what else. I wasn't really sure because it wasn't like a huge dining room, so I didn't have room for like a bar area or anything, but I still think it comes together really nicely. And I really actually liked using a lot of black on the interior because this isn't a color that I use a whole lot, at least as like the main color. I'll use it as like an accent color and sometimes for like bedrooms depending on the style, but usually I don't use like a lot of black furniture. But since it already had like the black windows and doors on the exterior, I decided just to bring it onto the interior, and I think it all matches really nicely and comes together pretty good. So hopefully you guys will like it too. But there it is, decorated, that hutch, and then over here is going to be the living area. And in here, I kind of struggled with this room, I think the most, mostly because I had trouble picking out a couch. I wasn't sure which couch I should probably use, and I ended up going with the very simple Base Game couches that look like they're plasticky and really hard. They don't look very comfortable at all, but I wanted to go with something that looked more simple and modern. But I wish we had one that looked more comfortable. I thought about using the ones that we got from Seasons, but I didn't find one that had like the right colors I wanted to use. So yeah, I decided to go with those. I'm really hoping that we get more comfortable looking couches, like a lot. I really want some, because we did just get some new couches that came with Realm of Magic, but they don't have any like pillows and they're not fluffy and comfy. They are harder looking, but they don't look as like plasticky. Like we really need some more comfy looking couches. But another thing I struggled with in this living room was the space in between the front doors. I actually forgot about it while I was decorating in here. And when I was going to take the screenshots, I decided that I should probably find something to place there, because when I was building, I was going to use some like half walls and make it look like there was a pillar there. And so I go into the live edit objects and I find a pillar from there, and it kind of looks cool, kind of looks like an old part of the house or something that's been left there. So you will see it in the screenshots, but I really just had no idea with what I should put there, and it's kind of an awkward space. So hopefully you guys will like it. Hopefully it looks okay. But over here in the garage area, I put like a flower arranging table. I have a washing machine in here. Now I decided not to put a dryer because when I was driving around, not only in France, but in Spain and Portugal as well, I noticed a lot of people had clothes hanging outside. And so I don't know if it's common to have a dryer or if people just were taking advantage of the sunny weather and drying their clothes outside to save on electricity and things like that. But I decided just to include a washing machine and then put the clothesline outside so they could dry their clothes outside, but they still have a washer to wash their clothes inside. Instead of having the wash bucket, you could use that too if you wanted to, but that was my thought process. And yeah, I think the garage looks really nice. And then moving on to the upstairs, you will notice that the landing area is already decorated, but I decided to cut that out because I actually go through and change the little nook towards the end of the video. So yeah, I figured it didn't really make that much sense to see it twice. Hopefully you guys don't mind, but I decided to do something different. I mean, I still wanted it to be like a little like nook play area, but after decorating the kids' room, I felt like I needed to do something different in there. And then the rest of the landing area is literally like a picture and then a corner shelf. But this is going to be the upstairs bathroom. So this is the bathroom the kids share. It's very cute. And then this is going to be the teenagers' room. And I love this room so much. I think it's really cool. And the reason I like it so much now, obviously I said that I didn't go into anybody's houses, and so what I decided to do to take inspiration for a teenager's room was kind of from you guys. So I have gotten a lot of comments from people from France saying, hello from France, or after I went on vacation saying that they live in, Paris or these certain places. And I was like, okay, so I actually have quite a few viewers from France, and so I was like, maybe a lot of you guys are probably into video games. So I decided to make this a gamer teenager's room, but I didn't want to go like overly crazy gamer. So I decided just to do this little nook over here with a My Sims collection, and then they have a laptop, but I also give them their own TV with a gaming console, which I thought was kind of fun. And I just tried to make it look playful and kind of mismatched, like they don't have matchy decorations. Like I really tried to make it look like a teenager's room, and I thought that was pretty fun. And I also used this that has the plumb bob with a bunch of signatures on it, so maybe they got a chance to go to like their favorite game convention or whatever, the Sims, like their Sims version of YouTube or Twitch or something, and they got to go to a convention and they took that poster and had their favorite YouTubers or Twitch, like whatever the Sims version of that is, had them sign it. And I thought that was kind of a cute idea. So that was basically the inspiration I had for this build. But over here I'm placing a bookcase, and then I put a TV in this little nook, and then I give them a game console so they could sit on those little stack of pillows and play games. And then I also put a teddy bear on the bed too, and yeah, lots of posters and clutter, and I just really like it. I always have so much fun decorating teenagers' rooms, but this is one of my favorites that I've done in a long time, so I'm pretty happy with it. But over here is going to be a kid's room. So this room was inspired by that bedroom that I did. If you guys saw it, I did a single mom's apartment where she only has boys, and this room is very similar to that bedroom that I did, but I loved it so much that I really wanted to bring the way I decorated that room into like a bigger build instead of just an apartment. So I think I used the exact same beds, and yeah, I know I did like one side for a kid that's more into like space and science, and then the other side for a kid that's more into sports. So that's what I did, and I think it ends up being a really like cute bedroom. It's pretty cluttery, it's pretty messy, and there's lots of posters. This half of the room for the kid that's into sports, I put the mess on the floor and stuff, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, I like the way this whole build turned out, so hopefully you guys are going to like it too. But something I wanted to mention, because I just took a break and I was like listening back to some of my footage, and I realized that my dryer was going on in the background. So if you guys heard like a humming in some of the background, hopefully it's quiet enough. I did notice it though, so I'm sure some of you guys will notice it too. But yeah, I didn't close my door, and the dryer, like the washer and dryer room, is like right next to my office, so hopefully that wasn't too annoying. But I did want to say that, so in case you guys noticed. But here I'm just switching up this little nook, and then this is it for the build. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and hopefully you guys do enjoy the screenshot. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Maybe I never knew what I really wanted, but looking back I can see it's all clear. Still a kid trying to act like they all taught me, but nothing makes sense anymore. Oh, it hurts to grow up, 'cause nothing makes sense anymore. Oh, it hurts to grow up, 'cause nothing makes sense. No, nothing makes sense anymore. Maybe I could have seen it all coming, that I wouldn't grow wiser for each day. Am I the only